Welcome back everyone. On today's tutorial, I'm going to be giving a demonstration on how to do a proper edge up and a basic part design. So on this one, I'm going to start in the center. And when I mean center, you want to place your trimmer, whichever kind brand you're using, in the middle of your client's forehead. Usually your center will be the nose and between both the eyebrows. And you can either work your way to the left or to the right, whichever one you're more comfortable with doing. You also want to constantly comb your client's hair down, or to alleviate that issue, you can spray some holding spray. But even then, you still want to comb your client's hair down. Now what I just did, I combed his hair down. I used my comb at an angle as a guide, and I put my comb, the top part of the comb, up towards the top line, and the bottom part I angled it towards the edge of his eyebrow. And I used the back of the comb, the harder part, and that's how I put in my initial guideline, and that's what I'm using. Now I'm just stretching his skin, as you can see with my thumb. With my left hand, I'm stretching his skin. I saw a few hairs that were curled up, so I just combed it down, as you can see. Now I'm about to stretch a little bit more, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna reinforce that top line and connect it over to the sideline. And some clients' edge ups are easier than others, but if you just have a basic guide to go by, you'll figure out exactly how to put a line on. Now with the sides and the back, the same thing. You want to stretch the skin. See, I tilted my client's head over to the left, and I'm using my thumb as the guide. So I put my thumb on his neck and I'm stretching his skin, and for the length, I will go down to my thumb, and that's going to be my stopping point. And then I use the back of his ear as another stopping point, and then the top of his ear, that's where I put the curve. And usually when I do my curve, I only use the corner of the trimmer, as you've seen right here. I'm just using the corner, and then I just follow it all the way back down to where I originally had my thumb. And see, I'm stretching his skin with my left hand, and I'm just reinforcing that line, trying to make it as straight and crispy as I can. Now move to the other side. Now I'm just really connecting this side with the other side. So this would be to my right, but his left. See, I'm combing the hair down. I'm stretching. One of the teeth of the T-liner is facing the corner of his eyebrow, and the other is facing that top line. And just take your time, just tap like I'm doing. I'm just barely tapping. Now what you probably can't see, with my left hand, I'm pulling the center of his forehead and just stretching his skin. Now the reason his line is coming out so sharp, I sprayed holding spray. I just edited that part out of the video. And again, above his ear, I'm just using a corner. And you don't want to make that line too wide above his ear. You just want it nice and natural. Alright, and that's basically your edge up right there. Now I'll just adjust this head just to make sure both of these lines are even on both sides, like so. Okay, now I'm about to do a basic part design. He already showed me a picture of what he wanted, and he told me the location of where he wanted it. So I'm just going to adjust the camera and we'll get straight to it. Now I'm not the best at doing designs, but if it's something that I feel like I can do, I will agree to do it. But rule of thumb, if you know cold-heartedly that you can't put that design in, just tell the client, hey, I can't do that design. You don't want to try and practice on someone, because at the end of the day, when you mess up, they're stuck with this look for the next 2 weeks, depending on how fast their hair grow. And that's your work walking around there out into the public. So there's no harm of telling the client, hey, I can do a fire cut, but as far as the design, I just do basic designs. Try not to take on too much that you know you can't handle when you're doing the designs. But if it's something that you feel like you can execute, by all means do it. And that's what I'm doing with this one. He told me he want a heart. So I can draw a heart on a piece of paper. That's really how I judge designs. If I can draw it on a piece of paper, then I can put it in your head with the clippers. But if I can't draw it on a piece of paper, then I'm not going to attempt to put it in your head. I don't want to mess you up. It's going to look bad on my client. It's going to look like, again, like I said, it's going to look bad on me as a barber. Now, if you know someone that can do designs, there's no harm with sending the client to that particular person. There's no different from, example, a couple videos I dropped with the client that has dreads. I don't know how to do dreads, but I can do a nice fade. I can do a drop fade, mid fade, or whatever type of fade he wants. So I can do the fade and then refer them to a person that does dreads. It's the same thing with the design. Now I'm doing this video in real time. I'm not speeding it up so you can see about how long it took me to do this. And I was taking my time, even though I'm putting it in his head and it's basically real simple. I still want to take my time. I want it to look decent. Sorry for the arm being in the way. But yeah, there we go. I moved my arm. And I'm just using the corners of the trimmer. Those are the sharpest points. So whether you're doing a straight line part or a design part like I'm doing, there's still two lines. The average person doesn't see it, but as a barber, you will see it. There is a top line and there's a bottom line. So that's why it seemed like it's taking me forever to put this in. So I put the initial heart in, then I have to go back in and trace around it for the second line. And when it's closer to the dark area where the heart shape takes form, I had to do that line. Now, as an added bonus, he wanted me to put a little break in the heart. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just slowly tapping it in. Just taking my time as I'm doing it. I'm not in any rush because I want this to look right. Trying to figure out what angle to strike and put this crack in, or this zigzag. So what I was doing, because I just gave him a full edge up using these same Babyliss trimmers, they were hot. So I had to spray some Andes Cool Curl on them and let them cool down a little bit. Because even though they don't heat up in your hand like the Andes T outliners, the blade was hot. And he was telling me that the blade was hot. Now I still have my other trimmers, but these, it's just something about these gold ones. They're just, I don't know, I just got very, very lucky with these. They just hitters. like I say in all my videos, the only thing I did to these was just set them. I zero gapped them. I didn't sharpen them. I just zero gapped these, and they cut like butter. They cut like they have a ceramic blade on them. Okay, so that's the final look for that heart. Now I'm just looking over, just making sure that the lineup is straight, consistent, perpendicular on both sides. You always want to look away and then refocus your eyes back on your client, and you may see that one side is higher than the other, and that's what I noticed. One side was higher than the other, so I'm just making the adjustments. And I'll spin them around so you can see at the end.